Why desire causes suffering, Buddhism and reality. Desire is one of the most powerful forces in human life. It drives ambition, fuels relationships, and inspires creativity. Yet, according to Buddhist teachings, desire is also the root cause of suffering. Why is this the case? How can something that motivates us also lead to pain and dissatisfaction? Buddhism provides a deep and profound answer to this paradox. The second noble truth, one of the foundational teachings of the Buddha, states that suffering arises from tanha, craving or attachment. In other words, our relentless pursuit of pleasure, success, and security keeps us trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction and suffering. In this comprehensive exploration, we will break down why desire causes suffering, how it manifests in daily life, and what we can do to break free from its grip. We will also examine how modern psychology, philosophy, and real-life experiences align with Buddhist wisdom. 1. The nature of desire. What is tanha? Understanding tanha, craving. In Buddhism, tanha is not just any kind of desire, it is a specific form of craving that leads to attachment and suffering. The Buddha categorized craving into three main types. 1. Kama tanha, craving for sensual pleasures, the pursuit of pleasure through material goods, food, sex, entertainment, and comfort. 2. Bhava tanha, craving for existence, the desire to establish and maintain a sense of self, seeking power, status, and identity. 3. Vibhava tanha, craving for non-existence, the wish to escape pain, avoid reality, or numb emotions through distractions or addictions. While these desires may appear different, they all share a common trait: they are never fully satisfied. No matter how much we acquire or achieve, there is always a lingering sense of not enough. The cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. The Buddha described craving as a fire that is constantly burning. When we satisfy one desire, another immediately takes its place. This cycle leads to an endless loop of dissatisfaction known as samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Modern psychology supports this idea with the hedonic treadmill theory, the tendency for humans to quickly return to a baseline level of happiness after achieving something they once desired. This explains why a person who wins the lottery often returns to their previous level of happiness within months. A new phone or car feels exciting at first but soon loses its appeal. After reaching a career milestone, we immediately start chasing the next goal. This cycle keeps us trapped in a state of perpetual seeking, always looking outward for fulfillment that never truly arrives. Why desire is never satisfied. The more we crave, the more we reinforce a mindset of lack, a belief that we are incomplete until we attain the next thing. However, even when we get what we want, new cravings quickly emerge. This leads to temporary highs followed by dissatisfaction. The thrill of achieving something fades quickly, leaving us searching for the next goal. Emotional dependency on external factors. When happiness is tied to possessions, status, or relationships, we become vulnerable to suffering when those things change or disappear. A restless mind that is never at peace, constantly chasing desires, prevents us from fully appreciating the present moment. The illusion of control. One of the greatest causes of suffering is our illusion of control. We believe we can shape everything to fit our desires, but life is unpredictable. Clinging to things beyond our control only leads to frustration and despair. True peace comes from accepting reality as it is, rather than how we want it to be. How to recognize tanha in your life. Tanha manifests in various ways, often so subtly that we don't recognize it. Here are some signs. Always looking for the next big thing, a new job, a better relationship, or a fresh experience to complete you. Fear of losing what you have, anxiety about wealth, status, or love slipping away. Dissatisfaction with the present, a constant feeling that something is missing. By becoming aware of these patterns, we can begin to free ourselves from the cycle of craving and suffering. The path to freedom from craving. Breaking free from tanha does not mean suppressing all desires, it means cultivating a healthy relationship with them. The Buddha provided practical steps for this. 1. Mindful awareness. Observe cravings as they arise without immediately acting on them. 2. Acceptance of impermanence. Understand that all things are temporary and resisting change leads to suffering. 3. Practicing non-attachment. Enjoy life's experiences without clinging to them. 4. Shifting focus to generosity. instead of constantly seeking, find joy in giving. 5. Following the Noble Eightfold Path, cultivate wisdom, ethical living, and mindfulness to break free from suffering. As we deepen our awareness and practice these teachings, we move closer to a state of inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. 2. How desire manifests in daily life. Desire is deeply woven into our lives, shaping our relationships, ambitions, and daily choices. While desire itself is not inherently negative, it often leads to suffering when rooted in attachment. Here's how it manifests in different areas of life. Desire in relationships. Many relationships are built on attachment rather than genuine connection. We seek validation, emotional security, and fulfillment from others, leading to expectations that, when unmet, cause suffering. Unrealistic expectations. Expecting a partner to be the sole source of happiness leads to disappointment. Fear of loss. Clinging to relationships breeds jealousy, insecurity, and control. Need for validation. Seeking approval creates dependency and self-doubt. True love flourishes when we release attachment and embrace relationships with compassion, trust, and acceptance. Desire in materialism. Consumerism thrives on creating an illusion of need. Advertisers convince us that we must buy more to be happy, leading to a cycle of endless consumption. Temporary satisfaction. The excitement of new possessions quickly fades. Comparison and envy. Measuring success through material wealth leads to dissatisfaction. Neglecting inner peace. The pursuit of wealth and status often comes at the cost of mental well-being. Breaking free from material cravings allows us to find contentment in experiences, relationships, and self-growth rather than possessions. Desire in personal identity. Our ego thrives on self-definition. Titles, roles, and achievements shape our sense of worth. However, when we attach our identity to external validation, suffering arises. Fear of failure. We avoid risks to protect our self-image. Insecurity. Criticism threatens our perceived worth. Clinging to labels. Identifying too strongly with a role limits growth and adaptability. By letting go of rigid self-definitions, we cultivate authenticity and resilience. Desire for escape. Not all desires are about gaining, some are about avoiding. Many turn to distractions like social media, entertainment, or substances to numb discomfort. Avoiding difficult emotions. Suppressing pain only prolongs suffering. Short-term relief. Temporary distractions fail to address root causes. Loss of presence. Escaping reality prevents deep self-awareness. Facing discomfort with mindfulness and self-acceptance leads to genuine healing and freedom. By recognizing how desire manifests in life, we take the first step toward liberation from attachment and suffering. 3. The path to freedom, letting go of craving. The Buddha did not simply point out that desire causes suffering, he also provided a clear and practical path to liberation. This is where the third and fourth noble truths come into play. Suffering can end, and the way to overcome it is through the Noble Eightfold Path. Practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is the foundation of freedom from craving. When we develop the ability to observe our thoughts without impulsively reacting, we create space for awareness and wisdom. Recognize when a craving arises without acting on it. Reflect on whether fulfilling the desire will bring lasting happiness or temporary relief. Observe how quickly the mind moves to the next craving, reinforcing the cycle of dissatisfaction. Embracing impermanence. Everything in life is temporary, our relationships, possessions, emotions, and even our own identity. Suffering arises when we resist this truth. Instead of clinging, we can experience joy without needing to prolong it. Accept that all things, including success and relationships, are in constant change. Release rigid attachments to labels and self-identity. Cultivating generosity and compassion. One of the most powerful ways to counteract craving is by shifting focus away from self-centered desires and toward helping others. Compassion dissolves attachment and brings profound fulfillment. Acts of generosity reduce attachment to material wealth. Loving-kindness meditation helps dissolve greed, envy, and resentment. Helping others fosters deep and meaningful happiness. Following the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path provides a structured way to transform our relationship with craving and suffering. 1. Right view, understanding that attachment leads to suffering. 2. Right intention, cultivating non-attachment and compassion. 3. Right speech, speaking truthfully and kindly. 4. Right action, living ethically and avoiding harm. 5. Right livelihood, choosing a career that aligns with moral values. 6. Right effort, cultivating positive habits and letting go of destructive ones. 7. Right mindfulness, staying fully present and aware. 8. Right concentration, developing deep inner peace through meditation. By walking this path, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of craving and find true liberation. Conclusion: the power of letting go. Desire is not inherently bad, it only causes suffering when it is rooted in attachment and craving. By understanding, observing, and letting go of these unhealthy desires, we begin to experience true freedom. When we shift our focus from seeking happiness externally to cultivating peace internally, we break free from the endless cycle of longing and dissatisfaction. Instead of being driven by craving, we start living with awareness, contentment, and genuine joy. Folded hands, may we all find the wisdom to recognize and release the desires that no longer serve us.